All right, guys, good morning. We are live from Gillespie Field here today, checking out planes taking off. And today I have something fun that we're gonna go over, and that's gonna be more Chevy Express vans. And what I'm talking about today is two-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive. Do you need it? Do you want it? Two very big differences, very big questions. So let's go dive into these vans and check them out, and let's talk two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. All right, guys, so let's jump into the two-wheel drive vans and talk about what they are really good for. So first thing, a two-wheel drive is really good for getting you pretty much everywhere you want to go. I've been in a two-wheel drive van for the good portion of my life. I've had it all down into Baja. I've gone all kinds of places and I've had a lot of fun. Hey guys, what's up? If you missed the video on Tuesday that we put out, it had all kinds of deals in it, especially if you're looking to add a lift kit or maybe a bumper to your van. Make sure you go back, check out that video and see all the deals that we have for you guys right now, our stimulus savings. So that's it. Back to your regularly scheduled videos. See you guys. Just knowing kind of what its capabilities are. Yes, I've gotten stuck. Yes, I've gotten out. Could I justify the cost of it? You know, that's one of those things, and that would be the first thing I would touch base on is, you know, the cost of lifting a two-wheel drive versus going into four-wheel drive. I can do a lot more to my two-wheel drive van for a lot less money, which to me is a big plus when I'm building a van. Staying with two-wheel drive, I'm going to be able to build more things, kind of like what I've done on this van behind me. And if you want to know more about that van, I'll throw up a card right here. Another thing that I really like about running in a two-wheel drive van is that I'm going to get better gas mileage. I know a lot of you guys ask, oh, am I going to get better gas mileage? You know, if I run a lift kit on my van, is it going to have a lot worse gas mileage? Well, no matter what, I think we're all screwed. If you're in a van, it's just a big vehicle and you are not going to get that great of gas mileage. And there goes Austin, dude. That was Austin right there, dude. Austin! Dude, Mini Cooper race. Oh, man. All right. So next time we'll get you. So that is going to be one thing that is going to be a plus in this two-wheel drive van. Another thing is going to be if you tow. A lot of you guys also ask like, hey, I want to be able to tow with my van. Is that going to be something that I can still do once I put bigger tires on it? And yes, you can totally tow with your two-wheel drive van, and you're going to maybe find that it tows even better. And that topic could be a whole nother topic up for discussion. And I would love to hear if you guys tow with your van, whether it be two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, if you noticed a big difference, and I would love to hear it. Please comment below and let me know if you tow with your two-wheel drive and if you tow with your four-wheel drive. What is said is since you have the less weight of not having all the four-wheel drive components in there, that you are going to be able to tow a greater amount. You know, it's not that much weight, but that would be the one thing I would say is, you know, better towing capacity. Now, it's also two-wheel drive. Granted, there are things that we could do to your two-wheel drive also. A lot of times in the rear of these two-wheel drives, we will run a selectable locker or a rear locker in order to lock the rear wheels in order to help give you better traction off-road. And that's going to be one of maybe the downfalls of a two-wheel drive, is that you're going to not really have the traction that you would in a four-wheel drive. It's still going to get you most places that you want to go, which is going to be great. But depending on what part of the country you live in, you may want a four-wheel drive, but then you hear that keyword want. So it just to be, you know, it's like a necessity. Do you need it, want it, need it, want it? Because we all know that the majority of cars out there on the road are going to be strictly a two-wheel drive, even in snowy conditions. And here we are in December, and I'm going to get called out on this because I'm like, it's cold. It's like 60 to 50 degrees maybe. I'm probably totally exaggerating. You know, Austin's in a hoodie with his hood up, shaking over there. It's freezing. I have my, you know, coffee, and I'm like, and it's really not that cold compared to a lot of people in the country. We're spoiled down here in San Diego, but we pay for it. All right, back to this video. One thing that a lot of you probably don't think about too is the insurance cost. The insurance to insure a two-wheel drive is gonna be far significantly, that's a good one, right? It's gonna be significantly less. And obviously it's gonna depend on your age and your driving history, and there's all kinds of variables in there, but generally speaking, let's just say a two-wheel drive vehicle, van, is going to be less expensive to insure than a four-wheel drive van, being that the entry cost to a two-wheel drive also is going to be significantly less, so that you're gonna have, that's gonna play a factor. But then they're also thinking, hey, you have this four-wheel drive vehicle, what are you gonna be doing with it? Where are you going with it? How silly are you going to be? Which also is gonna play a factor in this, and they know that if you have four-wheel drive, you're just gonna go get silly with it, most likely. Come on, let's be real. So that's a little bit about the two-wheel drives and why we're saying that they're going to be maybe better. You know, it just depends on what you need. I will say that typically on our two-wheel drive lift kits that we do on these, on this particular run, we still have stock wheels and tires. And then on the, you can also run up to like a 31-inch tire with a 3-inch coil, or with a 2-inch coil spacer, or you can go to a 3-inch lift spindle, or combination therefore of, to get up to that 33-inch tire. So I hope that this is picking this up, because I don't know what the hell it is, but wherever we film these days, people just want to go and drill and just, we'll see. I don't know, just can't win sometimes. From the world famous Weldtech Design, we're just gonna throw it out there, you know, like, but anyways, that's annoying. So you have a lot more tire sizes that you can run, still running those in two-wheel drive, and obviously back to that, less weight of your vehicle, better fuel economy, and cheaper, because you may get more mileage out of your tires being in two-wheel drive versus your four-wheel drive vans. So a little bit about two-wheel drives, and if I missed something, please comment below, let me know what I missed. And this may be a topic that we could bring up in our new podcast for 2020 and just have a conversation about it. Maybe we'll bring in some people smarter than me, because there's a lot of them out there that know a ton more about this than I do, and I would love to hear from them or from you guys. I mean, I'm new to four-wheel drive. Like, I'm a two-wheel drive. I mean, that's for the first half of my life, it was just two-wheel drive fun until we go back, way back in the day, you know, reminiscing about the old days of the Chevy Silverado Z71 I had back in, man, it had to be like 1996. It was awesome. So awesome. I'll have to find, I had flowing hair. It was just beautiful, you know. You probably don't believe me, but it's all true. I got pictures to prove it. So now we're gonna get into what most of you guys want, which is a four-wheel drive van. And I get it. Who doesn't want a four-wheel drive van? But the big question is we're not talking about just wants, we're talking about needs. And do you need a four-wheel drive van? Some of you may say yes, because you're going on crazy adventures and that's why you need it. And I will be saying, okay, but I have so many customers that are in the most awesome parts of the world, in South America, in their two-wheel drive vans, just crushing it, killing it, having fun. So what do I know? But four-wheel drive is awesome. I am new to four-wheel drive. I have a four-wheel drive van. I have had some fun with it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll throw up a card right there and you can check out our TDS video. And I look forward to going to TDS again and having even more fun. So let's talk about some of the benefits now of four-wheel drive. So obviously four-wheel drive is going to be better for the fact that it's going to have better traction. You're gonna have not only the rear wheel spinning, but also a front wheel spinning, which is going to give you better traction. Now here's the one thing, which I really, I guess, you know, you don't want to use four-wheel drive on the pavement. And when I talk about pavement, I'm talking about like this, like pavement. It's not really intended for that. I know some of you guys just want to get silly and do stuff like that, but it doesn't work as well because the tires they're all turning in different rotations. So anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But for wet conditions, for snowy conditions, icy conditions, yes, a four-wheel drive is going to give you better traction, which allows you to have better control of your vehicle. So that is going to be definitely a plus. So depending on what part of the country, and again, you know, that may be something more of a need than a want. So back to fuel efficiency. So typically, if you're running four-wheel drive on there like we are on this van, we've gone to a full 35-inch tire. So fuel efficiency got thrown out the window, and they're just not fuel efficient. I mean, I think if I'm lucky, I'm getting like 10, 12, maybe if I'm really, really lucky, miles to the gallon. So I definitely don't get the best gas mileage on my van at all. And most of these four-wheel drives, if you have a four-wheel drive van, I would love to hear what gas mileage you're getting. And half of that is due to just pure the larger tires. Now we try to offset that a little bit by doing gears in them. In this particular four-wheel drive van, we went to a 410 gear to offset the size of these larger tires to bring it back to more towards stock, which is going to be really nice. Towing capacity. So that would be one thing that people would say, that they don't have a higher towing capacity because you've added the additional weight. I know with some manufacturers out there, as far as even will make you take out a rear seat if it is a passenger van, because they say that it's over the GVW of the vehicle. So I don't know, it's not something that necessarily we do, but I would love to, you know, I'm just trying to be a sponge of information. I know a ton of you guys out there have a lot of information, and I love hearing what you have to say. So gas mileage, maintenance. I think that's going to be a big thing for you guys to think about, because now when it comes to maintenance, you're going to have a lot more maintenance on a four-wheel drive. Essentially, we've put a whole nother differential in the front. So depending on how good you are at maintenance, you know, before you just had to change your rear diff oil, now we're going to have to change your front diff oil. You do have more components in the front as far as, you know, CV boots. That's another big thing in there. Depending on how you drive, what you like to go through. I've seen, you know, I'm driving through brush and all of a sudden, you know, I poked a hole in a CV boot because I ran over a tree or something. Not really, it was a dead tree already, okay? It wasn't, I didn't run over a live tree. But I'm just saying, things of that nature can pop, you know, puncture your CV boot, and now that's something that you would have to replace. Where in a two-wheel drive, you're not going to have that kind of component up there. So a lot more moving parts, a lot more components in a four-wheel drive. So the maintenance cost is definitely going to go up with that four-wheel drive. And insurance. So that was the other thing that we touched base on. So keep in mind, now getting into a four-wheel drive vehicle in most cases is going to be a lot more expensive. Or if you're going to add four-wheel drive to your van, you've realized that, holy cow, it's expensive to add four-wheel drive. Well, once you do that, oh, wait a second. Here, wait, we're gonna pause this. Austin, who's taking our jet today? Rich people problems. We're talking about fuel efficiency. Man, you want to buy jet fuel for that thing? Woo! I bet that's expensive. All right, so insurance costs. It's going to be a lot more to insure one of these vans because now we've added a lot more components to it. And I will tell you guys, please, 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 once you add four-wheel drive to your van, make sure that you go and have your insurance policy, you know, talk to your insurance agent, let them know that you've added four-wheel drive to it, and insure it for that additional cost, because I've seen these vans look awesome. And we just had a customer last week get his van stolen. We seriously like finished it on like a Friday, and 2 weeks after he got it back, it got stolen. People love the way that they look, and people will take them. So, you know, make sure you have a theft device on it. We don't want that to happen. So, but if it does, make sure that you've increased your insurance in order to get it. I love this. I hope the microphone's picking up more drilling, Anyways, at least it's not as crazy loud as it was the other day. That was just ridiculous. So that, I want to say this is one other big thing, and whether you go with a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, keep this in mind, is that additional height now that we've added to the vehicle. So when you add that additional height, whether you're, just every day getting into it, whether you're loading kids into it, loading anything into it that you may need, you're gonna have that additional height in there that, you might not really like. So depending on tire size, a ton of variables in there, but definitely something to think about. And whether you go in a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, this is kind of like one of those, are gonna say, well, yeah, well, you have raised the center of gravity and it's gonna be more likely to tip over. And yes, as that may be true, I still feel as if these are both very stable vehicles, and I drive the piss out of them and I have a lot of fun in them. But yes, it's just one other thing to think about. And when we get into either one of this too, whether it be 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, something else I want you to think about, which could also be a downfall, is some of you guys that do live in snowy conditions or just plain like to park your van in the garage. Unless you have a really high garage, either way you go, 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, your vehicle probably is not going to fit in your garage. And depending on the height that you go of your vehicle, you may not even fit in some drive-throughs. I know now Velocis does not fit in a lot of drive-throughs, so me and my kids are getting out. So just one other thing to think about when you are lifting your van or adding accessories to it. And I think I've pretty much covered everything as far as 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, at least everything that's just coming off the top of my melon right now. So please comment below. Let me know if there's something that I've missed or something that you guys would like us to add to this 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, trying to make that decision video. And I know that while you guys are here, we're gonna put up a big button right here. Smash that subscribe button, please, and give us a thumbs up. I hope that you found this somewhat informative as you hung out with us for, 14 minutes or whatever it
16.
may be. What is it, Austin?
16.
16 minutes. I just took 16 minutes of your life. I hope that I supplied you guys with some information and some value that will help you build your dream van, whether it be 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. We would love to help you with that. So I think that's all that I have for right now. So you know the drill. I will see you guys next time. All right, so one other thing, guys, is with the 2-wheel drives, we did a small lift on this, but we're still keeping the stock tires. We're giving that additional ground clearance, but one other big plus in this is that you can still run your stock spare tire underneath the back of this. Once you go to the larger tires, that's where you start running into issues and having to add a spare tire carrier to the back of it. So